Hey everyone, this is P4L, and in today's P4L Transformers review, we'll be taking a look at the Hasbro MP-06 Autobot Commando Bluestreak. This is the latest in the Hasbro Masterpiece line with the newest renumbering system. So he is the sixth member of that line, and he comes in a very similar box in size and shape to his brother MP-Prowl, which was MP-05. It does look like it's supposed to be a Toys R Us exclusive, although it was at SDCC, according to the people that I know that were there. But yeah, you get a nice image of Bluestreak on the front, in both robot and alt mode. The same kind of new box with the Autobot logo that carries around to the side here, and the Transformers name, brand that goes across here, and the Generations logo at the top. Just some Japanese writing that I still don't know what that says. If you know, go ahead and leave it in the comments and let me know. That's just some warning labels and everything like that on the bottom. Going around to this side, you just get a bunch of kind of story and descriptions in 4 different languages. And it says, there are two things Bluestreak can't get enough of: blasting Decepticons and hearing himself talk. The Autobot is always yammering on about something. The only survivor of a Decepticon attack that wiped out his home city, he's on a quest for revenge that won't end until every last one of them is destroyed. If words were Fire Blast, he'd have obliterated Decepticon menace long ago. So, pretty cool description there, bio. And on the back, you get essentially the same images that you got on the front, just flipped the other way. So that's kind of weird. I don't remember if this was that plain on the back of the Prowl box, but yeah. And then it says a little frowny face for 0 to 3, so not for your 0 to 3-year-old, as if you need to know that. And it says it is an officially licensed product from Nissan and the Hasbro logo. So it has the same slipcase here that you're going to have to cut and pull off if you want to get that out of the way. Otherwise, you don't actually need to do that to access the figure. You can just cut it along the side here, which is kind of nice. Just to give you an idea of the box size, I don't have my MP Streak to car box, well, at least easily accessible, but I have a Prowl one here, so you can get an idea of just how much padding that they have in this figure itself. So it's about twice the height and like 1 1/4 times its width. Real quick, I wanted to bring in my Prowl Masterpiece box just to give you an idea of the differences. So as I said before, there are quite a bit of differences, like the placement of the sticker. You have the Hasbro logo. You have more languages. The Masterpiece logo at the top is different. The font. The picture of the character itself is much smaller, so he's pretty tiny in comparison. Again, the white versus the black, and the positioning of that font, as well as the addition of the Generations logo, which is kind of weird. On the side, because we have more languages this time around, instead of just the English, you have less space, so that's probably why they got rid of these stats here. And they choose up at the top to say Bluestreak Masterpiece. This one was Masterpiece Prowl. And on the back here, just a few differences. Again, very minimalist in terms of what you're getting, but at least this time, at least last time, you got different images on the back as opposed to on the front. It looks like that might be the same, but it also described, that this was police car mode or alt mode, and it had a comparison with Masterpiece Optimus Prime. Yeah, so kind of weird, the choices that they made. Again, different fonts at the top, and they don't have the advanced, level transformation information which they've been doing for a lot of the recent figures, number of steps and everything like that. So that bothers me just a bit, just because I'm a stickler for consistency. I know people kind of freaked out when they started doing the bio cards differently and artwork differently on the Takara Masterpiece. So if you're kind of, OCD like I am, you might get annoyed with the fact that they keep changing the boxes ever so slightly with the Masterpiece line in the US. Alright, now we can actually go ahead and get out of the packaging and into the review. One last thing about the packaging, when you get him out of the box, he actually is even more different on the inside. While he is packaged in a very similar fashion as P4L, the positioning is different, the gun placement is different. They have an instruction kind of area here, and the back is the background is kind of that blueprint look that they've had, which is very cool. So I do like that a lot. And I'll get him out of the way, and we'll take a quick look at what's back there to see if there's anything interesting. So after doing a quick review of what's in here, there seem to be about 4 different things that they're focusing on here, maybe 5 if you want to talk about the matrix. But so there's a few things. I'm going to zoom in real quick. There is, first and foremost, what you might see here is the Megatron, which is not the MP5 version. It's just, again, we don't know what this really means, if there's an upcoming Masterpiece or not, but it does show in comparison to the scale of the MP10 design here. He's much bulkier. They actually zoom in on his hand up here and his fist, as well as his head sculpt from front and profile. So that's one. Oh, they show off his blaster, his abdominal area, and his feet. The second thing that they show was the MP10, which I was talking to you about before, which is kind of down here, also down on the bottom here. His head, everything like that. The Bumblebee that they have, it looks similar to the Masterpiece Bumblebee, but also very different. He's a lot bulkier in his arms and his legs, and he has a different crotch. And even his head sculpt looks quite different than the official Masterpiece one. I don't know what's going on with that. And even the back, it doesn't have the backpack for the Masterpiece version. So who knows what that means. Let's see, they also have the Matrix in a few places. And then last but not least, they have a Unicron. I think those are the only 4 or 5 items that are on this box itself. Alright, so much better than the plain white box that we got with P4L, and I just like that they did kind of improve on the packaging instead of reusing the P4L packaging. Alright, now we'll get into the actual review. Alright, so we have Masterpiece Bluestreak out of packaging. He does come with a blaster and no shoulder cannons that were kind of the Amazon exclusive, if you were able to get them. Amazon Japan, that is. He does come with instructions, sorry for this being kind of dark. And they look pretty good. I haven't compared them to P4L's, but I think they're the same because it actually looks like this might be P4L here instead of Bluestreak. But I'm not sure. I can't say that definitively. Just the crest looks more like P4L than Bluestreak. Alright. I'm actually not going to transform this guy because I've already done a couple reviews on P4L and the Silver Streak and probably another one that I'm just going to link down in the description below, or maybe I'll just link it here somewhere, so if you need transformation help you can just look at those videos. Alright, one quick thing to note on the accessory, the gun, is that he does still have slightly off-kiltered hand grip, so it doesn't go perfectly straight, and this was a problem with the mold previously, and I think all versions of the mold, if I can recall, and it's particularly bad with the right hand. So once I tab that in and close it up, you'll see that it's kind of crooked, it's not straight on. Not a huge deal, but it would have been nice to see some improvement on that. Not that I actually expected Hasbro to fix that, honestly. One thing, he does come mistransformed as well. This was straight out of the packaging. You're going to want to flip out his heels from the bottom of his foot. And that allows him to stand flatter and have more stability in his feet. So let's do a quick 360 of this guy. And this mold's always been great. I always enjoyed it. So you're not going to see really anything new here. But I don't know if it was just when I pulled him out of the package or what he looked like. I thought he looked nicer, or maybe just newer than my other one, my original Takara one. But to give you an idea of what that looks like in comparison, let's actually bring him out. So we'll bring out the Takara one on the right side here. And the one thing I'll note is that he does have third-party hands, the fan style hands that I've done before. So that will be different. But overall, they look, now that I have them side by side, they look essentially the same. Oh, I'm just noticing I do have a small paint defect on mine here. Not a huge deal, but kind of a bummer. But otherwise, they look pretty similar. The Autobot logo is noticeably brighter, although it looks a little bit more crooked on the Hasbro one. Some of the plastics look a little bit brighter as well. The one on the right is noticeably darker, and you may be able, you don't see it in the legs, but you kind of see it in some of the other pieces. So on the back, not much different. Still have the hollow legs, which is unfortunate, but they're not going to change the mold. The only other thing that you'll notice on the Hasbro one is it has the stamps, the certification stamps on the inside of the foot, which are required for the US. Otherwise, I think they look pretty much the same. I can't really tell any difference between them overall besides those few things I pointed out. The logo is probably the most apparent one. Very, very bright. I don't know if you guys can see how much brighter it is, but it's very noticeably brighter. The paint details and everything like that are the same. They still has like kind of the same silver accents. The grays look pretty much the same. Again, you can't compare these because they're not the same fists. But the grays on the legs, the silver paint, it looks like it maybe have a little bit less metallic flake to it, but it's really hard to tell. Alright, so that's really it for robot mode. As far as any kind of quality issues, I haven't seen any with this guy. He's tight all the way around. There's not really any looseness from mold degradation. Actually, his thighs are actually quite tight, or his hips are quite tight. Still has his knees that are pretty tight, his ankles and everything like that. So overall, they did a good job with the QC. No real issues on mine, except for that small crack in the paint there, which is unfortunate, but not a huge deal. My Takara one's not perfect either. Alright, with the magic of cuts, we're going to go ahead and, well, since some people may be new to the figure, let's go ahead and show off some of the articulation. That might be best to do. So his head is on a small swivel that lets him look up, a little bit down. You go 360. He has shoulders that are on a ball joint here and a rotational joint at this point in the shoulder connection. So he gets a weird range. It also helps with transformation. Bicep swivel, double jointed elbows. Does have wrist swivel. His hands have all the four fingers as one molded piece pinned. No thumb articulation. He does have a nice tight waist. I showed off the legs before. Friction joints going forward and back. Good range of motion going out this way. These side hip covers can flare to the side, flare up so that you can get some more movement. He has these kind of weird double jointed knees, but predominantly use that upper knee. And then his ankles have a bit, they're on a, let me see if I can show it. So they're on a hinge here and a hinge here. His heels, as I showed before, you rotate them out, and they don't, I mean, you can get some articulation to get them transformed back, but they don't really move or anything like that, separately from the foot. Last but not least, in robot mode, you do get these shoulder cannons, which you can actually extend. Some people didn't know that you can actually extend these. So in comparison, unextended and extended. And if you were to get some third-party launchers or a set of the Takara ones, you can go ahead and just use the same ones and plug them in without issue. Alright, I think that's it for robot mode now. I'll go ahead and cut and we'll do a quick comparison of alt mode. Oh, and his wings. He does have wings that articulate forward and back the doors and can angle up and down. Sorry about that. And now we'll go ahead and get into alt mode comparison. Alright, so we have Hasbro's MP Bluestreak in alt mode. I'll do a quick 360. And he is exactly the same, essentially. Again, with some very small differences that are really not going to be noticeable and worth, you know, picking up a second mold unless you're like me and want to have one of each of the releases. He looks by and large the same. For the alt mode review, there's really not much to talk about in terms of articulation or anything. His wheels do move. You do get a little bit of robot mode arms and abs. Or actually, this is actually the back. Oh no, this is the front, this is the back here. You do get a little exhaust pipe coming out of here. Really nice representation of the Datsuns. The gun, you can move the handle forward, get that nice snap, and you get this kind of weird L shape. To make use of that, just crack open the front and back a bit, like so. And you're going to flip out this piece in the center, if I can actually grip onto it. It's actually kind of hard to flip around. There we go. Flip this piece around like that. You'll have a little slot right there. And then again, you can go ahead and plug that in. Just support the back. And then you have his blaster stored and in use in alt mode. Kind of goofy, but again, you have that option. If you do have the shoulder rockets or missile launchers, whatever you want to call them, as before, you have small slots on the side and tabs on each side of those launchers that you can just tab in as well, so that you have an all weaponed out Bluestreak. But yeah, that's pretty much it for alt mode. Let's do a quick comparison once I get this blaster out with the Takara version. And as before, you're not really going to see much difference here. Come on, get out of here. There we go. You can go ahead and rotate this piece back in. And down, get it down all the way. There we go. So for comparisons, we have on the right the Takara version. The only difference I see here again is that Autobot logo, the brighter red here, and that might be just the version of Streak I got. I don't remember if there were multiple runs of Streak into the car version, but otherwise identical. The overall quality is still really high on the Hasbro one. I think you'd have a hard time distinguishing the difference between these two in alt mode. Alright, So that was really just a quick and dirty review of the Masterpiece Bluestreak from Hasbro, the newest release, their MP-06. If you have any questions or comments or corrections, or if you spotted something that was different between these two using this video or on your own, let me know in the comment section, and that way I can put up a correction or something like that. But otherwise, he's a great little figure. I always like this mold, so any excuse to get another Dotson is not a bad one. I am looking forward to the Bluestreak that's going to be coming out at some point. I think this year. I think it's going to be a con exclusive. I'm gonna have to check on that. But yeah, if you like the video in comparison, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to share with your friends on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you're sharing, go ahead and do that. I'd appreciate that. If you want to keep up to date with my news and reviews, go ahead and click on the subscribe button here, or also like me on Facebook at P4L Reviews. And yeah, as always, I really appreciate you guys keeping up to date. The contest announcement will be coming pretty soon. I've just been super busy trying to do these reviews as well as get ready for TFCon Toronto, so it's taking a little bit of time to do that. So I'll probably announce it the week I come back from TFCon Toronto or something like that. Alright? But with that, I think that's all for today, everyone. Have a good one.